If you sow, you will reap, right? That's a pretty simple piece of advice. It's also a universal law, it just happens to be, and it works every time. If you sow, you will reap. And whatever you sow, whether it be positive or negative, you're going to get a whirlwind in return. So be careful of what you sow because you will reap a whirlwind. That's a universal law. You could also frame it as drawing a line in the sand. I like to think of it as exposing a line in the sand because maybe somebody just needs to hear it to turn on a light bulb in their head, and then they start making better decisions and making better commitments and forming better habits in their lives that change everything. Now, some people want to fight these laws of the universe, and what happens is you always lose if you want to fight those. That's ridiculous. Now, it's a setup that we did not create. Okay, you could say God created it or Mother Nature or whoever. I personally believe God created the setup of the universe because God wants us to grow. And I don't mean to turn this into a religious thing. That's just a personal belief that I have. Now, what you can do to come out ahead and start achieving meaningful things in your life is learn to get involved with the setup of the universe and see if you can cooperate with the positive, which obviously you can, and see if you can't make a difference in your life and actually literally start shaping your life the way that you want it to be because you're cooperating with the way that the universe is set up and seeing if you can't help the positive things more than the negative. That's how you win in life, in a nutshell. Now, I think this Team Beachbody opportunity that I'm always inviting people to is like drawing a line in the sand or exposing a line in the sand. Now, the Team Beachbody opportunity, anybody can do it. Most people won't, but anybody can. And it's not for everyone, which is the way that it should be. Who I'm appealing to, who I'm looking for, are the people that are looking for us, people that are looking for me. And that's only going to be, it's a very generalized statistic, I realize that, but only 5% of the population has the guts and the desire to go after their dreams, to step up and to own their life. The other 95% don't. And the other 95% are broke. They're in poor health. They have no time. They don't have any of those things. Or if they do, it's very little, and they're more or less fighting to survive rather than to thrive. They're fighting to keep from losing rather than fighting to win. And that's just the culture that we live in. That's 95% of people, and it's a very generalized statistic, so give or take. But who I'm looking for are those 5% that are willing to make a few changes in their day-to-day lives, just add a few disciplines, and it's enough to change everything, and everything will change. So if you're part of that 5%, and you're interested in this Team Beachbody opportunity, this opportunity of serving people in an enlightened self-interest kind of way, not a selfish self-interest, but enlightened self-interest, then I'm interested in talking to you. In fact, I'd be honored to talk to you. Now, in this country, 2/3 of us, in a country of over 300 million people, are obese or just overweight. And this includes our children. And there's a new drive, a new demand for casket makers in our country for the short and wide caskets. I don't have time to fool around with people that are just interested in themselves. You've got to have an intelligent, enlightened self-interest in helping other people, because here's the way it works. Here's another line in the universe that I'm going to expose. The receiving process, it doesn't start until you start giving and serving many. Find a way to serve the many. That's how you achieve greatness. That's how you receive. And that's how you're gonna reap what you sow. And in a whirlwind, it all works together with the universe. And if you cooperate with the universe and the positive things about it, that's how you're gonna shape your life. And you're also gonna feel very gratified knowing that you've helped people. I know I do, and I know other people do too. And it doesn't even matter what kind of a personality temperament you have. It doesn't matter what's in your past. It doesn't matter where you're at right now. The only thing that matters is you've got guts and desire. I know people in this business of all different personality temperaments and of all different, very extreme adverse backgrounds that have stepped up and they've done it and they're doing it now. So it doesn't matter what your personality temperament is. It doesn't matter where you're at now or where you've been. You just have to have guts and desire. And that broad statistic is only about 5% of you. About 19 out of 20 people don't have it. And I'm not looking for that 19 out of 20 people. I'm just not, at least not for this opportunity. And I'm also not speaking to the person who's happy in their life. If you're happy doing what you're doing, then keep doing it. But if you're not and you need to make some changes, I'm telling you, your ship is already here. If you're still waiting for your ship, it's not coming because it's already here, docked and waiting. And the longer that you make your ship wait in that dock, the more rust is going to accumulate and the more difficult it's going to be to set a better sail so that you arrive at a better destination this year than you did last year. And you can consider that another line that I've exposed about how the universe works. So if that sounds appealing to you, and you're in that 5%, and you want to make some changes, and you're willing to make a few changes in your daily disciplines, form new habits that'll change everything in your life for years to come, then call me, write me, get a hold of me on Facebook, whatever. Let's get started. If you just need more information to make an informed decision, fine, that's totally cool. But let's get started.